Hey people, welcome to the channel, and in this case I'll be talking about 3 facts players need to understand about Star Citizen. It's nothing personal, it's not being salty or angry. These are 3 things new players and maybe some players that have been around for a while need to comprehend so as to know what you're getting into and know what is likely to happen in the future, especially so as to not be disappointed. As I stack boxes here in my beautiful big ass reclaimer, let's talk about this. Number 1, this is probably something you already know and understand. Star Citizen is alpha. It's in very early game development. This means it will be messy, it will be buggy, things will be broken, and there's no end in sight. This has been going for over a decade, and if we go by what we're supposed to get, which is 100 systems eventually, maybe someday soon TM, we are not even close. We're not even at 1% of what this is. But basically, for now, what you need to understand is you will not have a smooth experience. Buggy, messy, broken at times you cannot even play. This has happened recently, and it's been sometimes for people that couldn't play for months. They couldn't even log in. So you need to be okay with that. If not, this is not the game for you. Also accept that what you have right now in game is what you will have for a very long time. And here is where the free fly is useful. As of right now, this very moment, you can play Star Citizen completely for free. That is always cool because it gives you the opportunity of not spending money. First of all, see if it actually works in your system, in your computer, if it can take it or not. Instead of buying it, try it for free right now, and you will know. And you will also know what there is really here for you to do. Which is all there ever will be for a very long time. Any kind of new content will be very little and far between. That's something we'll talk about in some of the other points. But as of right now, completely free to play. Use the link there below to log in, and when you create the account, use the referral that you have there. You have my referral there. If you want to use a referral from a friend of yours that's already playing, he will probably appreciate it. If not, I will appreciate too if you use mine. No, you don't sell the referrals. I saw comments. You can't sell those. You cannot even melt them. So be very careful about upgrading or CCUing a referral to something else, okay? Number 2, there's no company in the industry, there's no business in gaming that is as good in terms of marketing as CIG. No one does it as well as they do. They're over $500 million company without having sold a single game. You're just pledging, you're just giving money hoping that one day something will happen. But without having sold the game, they're making a ton of money, more than anyone else, in terms of how much they sold, how many games they sold, and how much money they made. So in terms of marketing, sales, hype, promotion, no one does it better than them. Yes, and they're also great at creating this confusion of miscommunication. Oh, but I'm financing Star Citizen. No, you're really financing Squadron 42. That's why it's taking so long. Oh, really? That's it? Yeah, that's the reason why. Oh, but the technology has never been done before. There's never been a video game done before. So these are all things that we're just, this is NASA level shit, you know? All of this hype is just marketing, and you have to understand that's what it is. Guys, it's nothing personal. This is simply business. It's a for-profit company. They don't owe you any damn thing in terms of disclosing how they go about promoting their business, okay? If you don't understand that, that's too bad, but that's how it is. And once you understand that, you will be okay. Now, be careful with a few things. There's gonna be a lot of hype. That's the best kind of advertising and promoting and marketing you can get. Hyping, talking about things that don't even exist, and having people's mind just run. Imagination going loose, and fantasizing, and doing videos, and content, and shilling. Yes, there's a lot of shilling going on. And that's, again, they don't owe you any explanation. Who they pay, how much, exactly for what, the kind of content they do, the kind of channels they have businesses with. That's all on them. This is like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is, water is better, cheaper, and healthier in all aspects than Coke or any soda. And yet you buy soda nonetheless. And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. for something that water is better, right? It's just about the advertising, the promoting. And the same goes here. And maybe it's not Coke or a soda, but maybe it's not in your best interest to buy yet another ship you don't actually need. My advice has always been, get your starter and stick with that. And if you want to spend a few bucks more, get yourself an Avenger Titan, which is the one I recommend. But really, buy yourself the cheapest starter, and maybe eventually a few months later, if you want to buy one ship and your finances allow it, you do you. I will also say that spending $30,000 in spaceship is maybe not the brightest thing to do, even in terms of what you're enjoying, because having all the ships means you have no reason to progress or buy anything in game. And that's the only kind of progression you actually have, buying ships. There's nothing else for you to do. There's no storyline, there's no other progression than making money, doing missions, buying ships. So buying all of the ships will actually be a deterrent. It will ruin some of the enjoyment you will have from actually achieving things within the game. So be very careful with that, okay? Again, you do you, but that's my advice. You don't need the coolest, latest ship. No, when they're marketing the Sniper, Ares, Eon, or Inferno, they will balance it or nerf it, which is a more accurate description. And again, it's marketing. You bought the hype, and yes, after a while they realize that it's game breaking to have a sniper ship, which is crazy to even have thought about it, but it's not crazy if you think that people will buy it, and people did, and then people get disappointed. And I'm not even talking about the ships that are not even sold, that just stay in perpetual concept. Looking at the Banu Merchantman, we were just supposed to have the Banu Merchantman just around the corner. Just when we get to 4.0, when we get to Pyro, you will have, that will probably launch with the Banu Merchantman. No, never actually did, and that is shelved. And you spend the money, and now you can melt it, but you spend the money already. Oh, but I wanted the Banu Merchantman. That's all part of marketing and sales. Just be very careful as to you doing what's beneficial and best for you, not what's more convenient for CIG, okay? Number 3, and maybe this is the more controversial thing, which is understand the business model. CIG is not a company that makes money out of selling a video game. In case you haven't noticed that already, CIG is a company that makes a ton of money selling spaceships. Selling the ships that you can fly in this online service. It's not personal, it's nothing to get angry about, it's not a scam because you acknowledge that every time you click on acknowledge, but that's the business model. You buy these things, and that's what they are interested in doing. And it is true that maybe at some point there was an intent, maybe at some point Chris Roberts really wanted to finance a game he intended to finish. It's been years now that clearly that is no longer the case. There is no intention of finishing any kind of Star Citizen game here at all. At all. There's no intention of doing any of that because there's more than enough money to do that, yet it's not happening. And it was a time in which, when I started playing, I thought that I don't care about that. I'm okay if this is in perpetual development as long as there's new content, new things being done, progression, you know, finishing this game. Even if it takes forever, there's going to be more things for me to do, right? Wrong. That's the biggest disappointment. Once you realize that, that's one of the biggest disappointments, and that's when people start calling this a scam, because they thought that a perpetual alpha development stage meant there's going to be a whole lot new content, and that's simply not the business model. Because again, the business model that has proven to be the most successful is selling ships for the service, right? I just, use the reclaimer here, and the animation that people expected to be hull munching is something that a guy on Fiverr does for 10 bucks, right? And here's where people feel disappointed. But why would they do something different when all of that money, all of that manpower, all of those resources are much, much better spent in developing a new ship or a couple new ships and promoting them and selling them? That's the business model that they're into, which is not adding new content, throwing DLCs. I mean, dude, you don't even have a storyline here. What kind of progression are you looking at? There's no storyline. There's no actual progression in game. And that's the way it will probably stay forever. It's only every once in a while when they feel that people are either losing attention or there's maybe some new thing out there that people are, like in the case of at the peak of the hype of Starfield, you saw some things going on there in terms of the new settlements and something, a little carrot for you here and there, even opening up Pyro, what's, embarrassingly little of it because that's all they have. But they did all of those things so as to at least retain some of that audience, some of that base that was slowly getting bored and going to other better things. But once you understand that, you also understand that the more money you give them, the more you incentivize that same practice, which is, why would I spend money doing content when I can invest that in new ships to sell, which people will happily buy? Because numbers don't lie. People vote with their wallet, and they're voting that they're okay with new ships being offered instead of more content. And the more of that you have, the less content you will actually have. So it's actually the opposite of what a lot of people assume, that the more money I give them, the faster they will work in finishing Star Citizen or adding new content. No, it's actually the opposite. Once they see interest declining and people going away, then and only then will they stop focusing only on ship sales and crap like this, which you just see right now on screen. Okay, guys, that's basically it. That's the honest truth. And if you appreciate that from me, I appreciate a subscription as well. Again, free flight right now. You can go and try all of this for free without spending a single buck. Do use a referral in case you end up buying a ship package eventually after playing it. But this is all you will probably have for a very long time. Guys, see you on the next video. Take care.